Welcome to Electrified. It's your host, Dylan Loomis. A big shout out to my newest patron, Doug P. Thank you for choosing to support the channel. Two quick things. First, I just want everybody to know that I do take time the following day after a video upload to go through the comments and respond to some. So if you watch in the first 12 hours or so and you don't see any interaction from me, I just want you to know I do pay attention to the comments. I try to read through as many as I can each day. Just know I wait until the following day to let some come in. I've always appreciated when other creators take the time to engage with comments, and it is pretty rare nowadays, but I told myself I will always make time to do that. And second, if you were offended by my teaching old dogs new tricks comment yesterday, I did want to apologize for that. I do generally not enjoy generalizations. And yes, there are absolutely always exceptions to the rule. Hopefully you all know I would never mean any disrespect. I have immense respect for the older generations. I think the younger generations should be learning much more from that demographic than they do now. It's just there really is a dearth of software talent, and it's going to be an uphill battle for legacy auto. On the Tesla Canada configurator, there's now a banner saying Model 3 prices will increase up to $9,000 on February 1st. And Model Y prices will increase up to $4,000 on February 1st. Yes, the Model S and X are impacted as well, so as you can see here, it'll be a range of between $4,000 and $9,000 depending on the trim. As we touched on earlier this month, there was a prior price hike in Canada that resulted in all Tesla variants no longer qualifying for the iZEV rebate, even though that program was winding down anyway. Speculation here, Trump has said that February 1st he plans to impose that 25% tariff on goods coming from Canada to the US. And yes, that alone would not impact Tesla pricing in Canada, but the Canadian government has also said they plan to reciprocate those tariffs, meaning cars produced in the US that are shipped to Canada may face new 25% tariffs. Another possible factor, over the past year, the Canadian dollar has been falling relative to the US dollar. Thus, Canadian consumers need more Canadian dollars to buy goods priced in US dollars. Tesla makes its cars in the US, they're priced in the US, so to maintain the same level of profit margin in US dollars, they would have to charge Canadian customers a higher amount of Canadian dollars to, of course, maintain the same profit levels. It's precisely situations like this why I really try to avoid falling into the habit of anytime there's a Tesla price hike, jumping to the conclusion that demand must be through the roof. Sure, sometimes that's the case, but more often than not, there is more at play, more nuance to the story. So Canadians, you have about 1 week to get your orders in before these price hikes go into effect, and we should expect a pretty significant spike in orders for the next week, but after that, TBD. And just to be clear, here's where Trudeau has reiterated that he's ready to respond if Trump does go through with those 25% tariffs. The Pwn2Own hackathon in Tokyo is underway, and researchers hacked Tesla's wall connector charger twice on day 2. But it's not just Tesla, they also found 23 more zero-day vulnerabilities from other chargers. By the way, these zero-day vulnerabilities are basically the treasure chest for hackers. It's finding the unknown flaws in the software. Originally got the name because the vendors would have 0 days to deal with these vulnerabilities. And just for those who are into this type of thing, one group hacked Tesla's wall connector via the charging connector, an approach that's never been demonstrated publicly before. And Tesla doesn't just participate in the events, they've sponsored this numerous times, and they also provide vehicles for testing. Personally, I love that Tesla does this because then obviously they can fix the problems, and I really don't understand why companies like Ford and GM don't participate. I'll share some more content of the new Model Y, but the rumor is orders might open up for North America this evening, Thursday night. However, even if they don't, it sounds like the embargo for all of these reviewers' new Model Y videos will be lifted over the next 12 hours. Translation, we're about to be flooded with new Model Y video footage and reviews of the actual vehicles. And yes, everybody can exhale, the front bumper camera is confirmed. by the way, when it comes to these automated second row seats, I know in this scenario there were people in the front row, but in this scenario where those front row seats are too far back, it would be awesome if a future software update would automatically move those front row seats up. That way you don't have to walk around the vehicle and manually move those seats forward for the second row seats to go all the way down. Some of you like to tell me that I never say anything negative about Tesla, so this is for you. When I picked up my new Model 3, the tire pressure was 5 psi below where it was supposed to be. Not only that, but I'm now about 40 days removed from my delivery date and I still have not received my paperwork to get my actual registration, and thus I have not been able to go get my vehicle inspected. And until I have that paperwork, I can't even get a license plate. And it gets worse. When I called to ask what was going on, the guy was rude to me. He did not apologize at all for my experience, and I still don't really know what's going on. So I hate to say it, but man, Tesla, I think they're doomed. Of course, I kid, but those are actually true stories. The truth is, no company is perfect, including Tesla. But luckily, when we got home, I was able to fill my tires at home for free because I have the Fantic X8 Apex portable tire inflator, which in my book is just a straight up must-have product. Fantic did offer to sponsor this video, but I've paid for this product to give as a Christmas gift to my family because it's that useful. The battery life on these is impressive. I went from 37 psi on every tire up to 42, and I still had over 50% of the battery remaining after all of that. It doubles as a power bank and a flashlight, and it's easily rechargeable via USB-C. It's a breeze to set your desired PSI, and it has presets as well. So before a road trip, not having to stop at a gas station is incredibly clutch. I've used this now for over 2 years, and it's an essential for every vehicle we own. Plus, Fantic does have other products like their V8 Apex vacuum that's quite handy to keep in your Tesla or vehicle. I actually keep one in my office as I like a nice tidy workspace, and the flexible hose makes it a lot easier to reach hard to get places. Right now, Fantic is offering Electrified viewers up to 40% off their products, and the links are below in the description. All you have to do is apply the coupon codes on the screen, which are also in the description, so you can just copy and paste. As always, thanks to Fantic and thanks to all of you for supporting the channel in this way. Unplugged Performance had a great video with the LA County Sheriff's Department, and specifically they let them try some different Tesla police vehicles on the Emergency Vehicle Operations course, aka EVOC.
The difference is absolutely staggering. I don't want to go back to this now. It's an incredible feeling after driving the Tesla modified package that you guys have the last couple of laps and getting back into it. This just feels so much more sluggish. The cornering just feels so much more just kind of out of place. The amount of times you can just move with so much more precision in the Tesla, the acceleration, the braking, the handling capability of it is just honestly far superior. Just the absolute dynamic and fun ability that you have in that car is just, it's a whole nother world. And I definitely don't want to go back to it. So.
One of the best parts about the video at the end, some of the guys were sharing their thoughts, and a lot of these fellows were quite skeptical of Tesla before the day began. A lot of them seemingly changed their mind after getting, guess what, their butts in the seat.
I enjoyed it. I'd never driven one until today, and I have a different mindset here at 2 o'clock than I did, or 1 o'clock than I did at 6 a.m. this morning. I was not necessarily sold, but I am now.
Get set, go!
Jeez,
That's freaking stupid.
It will never get old to me watching people get converted to the Tesla way in real time. Speaking of unplugged, today they're actually delivering Joe Rogan his custom Model S Plaid. As you would expect, there is some pretty cool work being done to the interior and the exterior, but I'm sharing because they did say that this vehicle is Joe Rogan's daily driver. Of course, he could choose any vehicle he wants, And he goes with this one. And look, even if you're not a fan of Rogan, you just can't deny that he has one of the biggest platforms on planet Earth. There was some news circulating today about Tesla being one of the world's safest car brands according to a UK study. However, the reason I put up those air quotes is because if you actually go to the source, you'll find that this study by Confused.com was published in March of last year. But it doesn't make what Tesla UK said on X any less true. Safety is the main design objective for our vehicles. As I've said a few times in the past, I will always periodically share this reminder because it's easily forgotten. With FSD 13.2.5 now rolling out, here's a quick clip from Chuck Cook.
Car backing out up front, and now he sees us, but is he going to exert it, or is he going to wait? Now the car is slowing down. Okay, see that? That was a really good behavior. The car saw him sticking out, slowed down but not stopped, allowed his vector to continue, and he went around and through it. Nice job, Tesla. That was a really good clip too.
You may not have picked up on it the first time, but that was interesting to me because the car started braking all the way back here. So definitely saw that red car starting to creep out and handled it just like a human would. A good human driver. I shared the quotes from NVIDIA's Ali Khani from yesterday's video on X, and Gary Black did chime in. He said, guys, you're ignoring that Baidu's Apollo, Google's Waymo, and Amazon's, he meant Zoox, are already offering unsupervised autonomous ride-hailing. Then I just explained that generalized autonomy is not the same thing as geofenced, as I've done a few times in the past, but this is the reason I'm sharing this. Gary then said, I know the difference. Baidu is not geofenced, and Google is expanding rapidly to new markets. Meanwhile, Tesla has yet to offer a single autonomous robotaxi ride. But the thing is, in my research, I have found that Baidu's Apollo is actually geofenced. So I wanted to put that out there to everybody. If you have any evidence to the contrary, please share it with me via email. I'd be happy to be proven wrong, but as far as I can tell, Baidu is geofenced. Mars had some profanity, so it's off the screen, but he was basically saying that every drive he's having is zero intervention, no matter how hard or complicated the drive is, to which Elon said, and it will only get better. And finally, FSD 12.6.2 is now rolling out to Hardware 3 vehicles, including the Model 3. From everything I'm reading, many of the first impression videos are very positive. Tim Does said he had a 45-minute drive, no disengagements, no interventions, all issues from same route on 12.6.1 were fixed. And FSD Test Pilot said, I just did my first commute to work on 12.6.2. It's really good, a true zero disengagement, zero intervention drive. Most importantly, this version is the best ever at not upsetting other drivers. It just acts normal and predictable. Honestly though, given it's rolling out right now, it's a little too soon to know what the problems with this release might be, but we'll keep watching. Some of you will know personally, I'm probably overly cautious when it comes to smaller, low to the road objects that without a front bumper camera, the car may or may not see, especially in the rain. So naturally, I had to share this video from FSD Unsupervised.
Oh boy, there's something in the road. Honey? Girl.
It saw the cushion and navigated right around it. Now, even if it went over it, in that case, it wouldn't have been a problem, but if it was an animal or a boulder, that's a different scenario. And just one more clip from Mars, because I know there are human drivers that would just bail out and go right in this situation. Joe Tetmeyer gave us an update on Giga Texas. If you're wondering why the flags are at half-mast, it's because of the honoring of Jimmy Carter for 30 days. But understandably right now, everybody's question is, what in the world is this thing hiding? This little mini canopy structure does seem to be wide enough to fit a vehicle underneath it. I know some were speculating that maybe it's a wireless charger, but if that was the case, I would wonder why they would need such a big enclosure. Unless, of course, there was a new vehicle actually testing and using this new wireless charger. But as far as we know, the first vehicle to use wireless charging will be the Cybercab, which we've already seen, so for now, I really don't know. Trump said he would bring down the US corporate tax rate to 15% if you make your product in the US, which of course Tesla does. As it stands right now at the federal level, the corporate tax rate for companies making products in America is 21%. Just know it's definitely not as simple as taking Tesla's US profits and then multiplying by 6% to see how much extra income they may end up with. The effective tax rate, or what Tesla actually pays in practice, is based on many factors. But all of that nuance aside, what's important here is, of course, a lower tax rate for Tesla in the US would be a good thing. While celebrating opening a new Rivian space in San Francisco, RJ Scaringe said that Rivian is working on rolling out a hands-free ADAS in 2025, followed by an eyes-off system in 2026. And of course, the reporters have to say it, so now Rivian is taking on Tesla. There's definitely still more questions than answers for this, like will this technology be available on the R1 lineup, or is this only for R2? Is it going to be gimmicky and only available in certain scenarios like Mercedes Drive Pilot, which is level 3? I would guess, yeah, probably to some degree. For the Chinese New Year, Tesla is offering customers in China enhanced autopilot free for 30 days, but they're also including Actually Smart Summon. With all of the hype around the new Model Y, hopefully these Actually Smart Summon videos will get Tesla some more exposure. John Ehrlichman shared some company valuations with Nvidia at number 1, $3.6 trillion valuation. Right now, Tesla's around 1.3 trillion, and Elon replied to this saying Tesla has the potential to be number 1 by a large margin. Which isn't news to any of us, but I'm guessing it's still music to some of our ears. Before we go, Gary Black did respond. He said, "You're correct as of today, but if Baidu makes good on its goal to be in 65 Chinese cities by the end of this year, plus Taiwan, Singapore, and the Middle East, will it really still be geo-fenced?" To that, I said, appreciate the response. In my eyes, yes, they would still be geo-fenced because they can't deploy their vehicles anywhere else until they pre-map each location. This is the beauty of Tesla's method. When it's solved, they can drop their cars nearly anywhere on Earth and they'll just drive, no pre-mapping required. Thus, Tesla's path to scale is clear and quick, pending regulations. For the others right now, it's murky, long, and laborious with much higher costs. Tesla stock closed the day at $412.38, down 0.66%, while the Nasdaq was up 0.22%. It was a very low volume day, trading about 42% below the average, which is the lowest volume day we've seen over the past few weeks, if not months. Don't forget, check out Fantic, linked below if you're interested. Yes, it's a great way to support the channel, but more importantly, I'm telling you, the tire inflator is such a convenience to have. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Please like the video. If you did, you can find me on X, linked below, and a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters.